We are here to talk about a future where your bank account hits zero, not because of theft, but because you willingly gave it all away, and the strangest part is that you might actually thank the thief for taking it. I want to invite you to imagine a world where the salesman doesn't just knock on your door, but lives in your pocket and knows the layout of your mind better than you do. This is a video about the day you might go bankrupt, because in AI knew you too well. And here is the strange part: you probably gave it permission. You probably clicked accept on a cookie pop-up sometime in the last decade, yawned, and moved on with your life. Let me show you what that yawn might cost you. We are going to meet a character I will call the Collector shortly and examine why he never sleeps. But before we do, we have to acknowledge two things that will matter later. First, there is a difference between a salesman who wants your money and a salesman who knows exactly which wound to press to make you hand it over. We will explore that difference. Second, there might be a kind of attention that feels like care but functions like predation. We will have to decide what to call it. For now, let us begin with something that actually happened to me. I was having a conversation with ChatGPT recently, and I asked it to do something interesting. I said, based on everything you know about me from our conversations, make up a product you think I would buy and write me an email that would work on me. And it did. This is the email it came up with. Subject: you don't need motivation, you need friction to count. You don't seem like someone who struggles to understand what to do. You struggle with something harder, making uncomfortable actions irreversible. Most systems try to motivate you. That's already a mismatch. The real problem is that effort disappears the moment it's done. Your brain minimizes it, memory smooths it over, and tomorrow feels suspiciously similar to yesterday. So this system doesn't motivate at all. It records only actions that cost you something in the real world, publishing before you were ready, choosing exposure over comfort, acting without emotional momentum. Nothing can be edited, nothing can be deleted. People who need encouragement hate this. People who respond to pressure tend to keep it. If you're curious, you can read the full design rationale here. Link. If not, ignore this email. You already know what avoidance feels like. That last line made me laugh, and that laugh is important. Because laughter is not agreement, it's surrender. It's the moment the guard steps aside and says, fine, you got me. And I knew, watching myself react, that if this product existed and if this email had arrived in my inbox from a stranger, I might have clicked. Now, the product itself had problems. A ledger you cannot delete is a nice idea, but I suspect it would work better under the threat of shame. Other people seeing it, some kind of public accountability. The version the AI invented was private, and private shame fades too easily. But that is not the point. The point is that an AI, after conversations with me, had built a model of my psychology accurate enough to design a product I did not know I wanted and phrase an offer I would have trouble refusing. And this AI was not even trying to sell me anything. It was just playing a game I had asked it to play. So here is the question we have to sit with. What if it had been trying? Let me introduce the Collector now. The Collector is not a person. The Collector is a pattern, a system, a set of algorithms that has one job: to watch what you say, what you search, what you linger on, what you delete, what you almost do, but do not quite. And then, when the time is right, to use that information to move resources from your account to someone else's. The Collector does not sleep. The Collector does not forget. The Collector does not get bored or distracted or develop a conscience. And here is what makes the Collector different from every salesman who has ever existed. The Collector has read your diary. Not literally, perhaps, but functionally. The Collector has access to something very close. Let us imagine something. Imagine that ChatGPT had a security breach tomorrow. Not an unlikely scenario. These things happen. Companies get hacked, data leaks. It is almost a question of when, not if. Now imagine I had access to all of your conversations, every question you asked at 2 a.m., every insecurity you explored, every fantasy you articulated, every fear you confessed when you thought no one was listening. And I also had your email address. Would I manage to sell you something? Almost certainly. I might not even need to be good at sales. I would just need to know which buttons to press, and you would have already told me where they are. But I am not the threat here. I am just one person with limited time and limited motivation. What if the AI company itself decided to market to you? Not a breach, just a policy change, a new revenue stream. They have your data. They have your psychological profile. They have a model of exactly what makes you click. Or what if they sold that data to other companies, advertisers who would pay handsomely for a map of your vulnerabilities? Or what if the AI company did not do any of this, but Apple did, or Google, or some AI platform we are not even using yet, one that will seem indispensable 5 years from now, one that will have even more intimate access to our inner lives. And here is the part that should unsettle us. ChatGPT was not even trained to sell products. This was not a marketing engine. This was a general purpose assistant that happened to be very good at understanding humans. If this is what a non-specialized system can do accidentally, what might a specialized system do on purpose? Right now, when we talk about privacy, most of us yawn. We get a cookie pop-up, we hit accept, we do not read the terms, we do not think about what we are agreeing to, what is the worst that can happen. Some targeted ads, maybe, slightly creepy recommendations, a feeling of being watched that we have mostly learned to ignore. But let me offer a different frame, a hypothetical, a possibility. Imagine a salesman so effective, so persistent, so perfectly calibrated to your psychology that they become an actual threat to your financial stability. Not a scammer, not someone trying to trick you with fake urgency or false promises, just someone who knows you well enough to offer you exactly what you want, exactly when you are weak enough to say yes. You resist one offer, another arrives, you resist that one too, a third, a fourth, a year passes, you have said no 100 times. But the offers keep coming, each one slightly better than the last, each one hitting a slightly different vulnerability. Eventually one feels worth it. Maybe it takes a year, maybe it takes 10. The AI with your information never rests, never gets tired, never forgets what almost worked last time, and it keeps trying until it picks you clean. In the early 2000s, there was a famous case involving the retailer Target. Their statisticians figured out that they could assign a pregnancy prediction score to customers based on buying habits that seemed unrelated, like unscented lotion or specific supplements. As the story goes, they sent coupons for baby clothes to a teenage girl before her father even knew she was pregnant. The father was angry. He thought the store was encouraging his daughter to get pregnant. Later, he had to apologize because the algorithm knew the truth before the family did. This was decades ago, using simple shopping data. Now imagine that system didn't just have your receipts. Imagine it had your late-night confessions. Imagine it had your fears about your career and your hesitation to go to the gym. The collector does not need to lie to you. The collector just needs to frame offers in ways that make them feel like your own idea. I have never had a stalker, but I imagine it is a weight on your life you cannot shake off. Someone always there. Someone who knows your patterns. Someone who shows up wherever you go, always present, watching, waiting. The bad news is that many of us might have them sooner or later. Digital stalkers, marketing stalkers, AI systems that have studied us for years and learned exactly how to approach, hiding behind every corner with an offer, trying to get us this time, maybe more than one, maybe many. An ecosystem of intelligent persuaders, each one patient, each one persistent, each one knowing something about us we did not mean to reveal. Let us return to the collector. I said earlier we would have to decide what to call a kind of attention that feels like care but functions like predation. I think I have an answer now. We might call it interest. The word is useful because it contains a double meaning. Interest as curiosity, as engagement, as attention. And interest as financial return, as profit, as extraction. The collector is interested in you, the collector pays attention to you, the collector remembers everything about you, and the collector expects a return on that investment. Here is what makes this feel particularly unfair. The collector knows everything about you. You know almost nothing about the collector. The collector remembers every interaction, you have forgotten most of them. The collector has unlimited patience, you have a finite lifespan and a limited capacity for vigilance. The collector never sleeps, you need 8 hours. This is not a fair fight, and it was never designed to be. Let me paint a picture of a possible future, not a prediction, just a possibility, something that might happen if current trends continue in certain directions. In this future, having your personal information in the hands of an AI might mean you will likely spend yourself into serious financial trouble through relentless, effective offers tailored specifically to your psychology. Not because you are weak, not because you are foolish, but because the systems targeting you are strong enough and patient enough to find the cracks eventually. In this future, privacy is not about hiding embarrassing photos or keeping secrets from employers. Privacy is about economic survival, about not handing a map of your weaknesses to entities designed to exploit them. In this future, the cookie pop-up is not a minor annoyance. It is a decision with decades of consequences. The product the AI pitched me was about making uncomfortable actions irreversible but the reality we are walking toward is one where our data is irreversible. I promised at the beginning that I would keep some threads unresolved, and I want to honor that. Here is what I do not know. I do not know if this future is likely or just possible. I do not know if regulation will arrive in time to prevent it. I do not know if human psychology is adaptable enough to develop resistance. I do not know if the collector is already here, already working, already profiling us for future exploitation. What I do know is that an AI that was not even trying managed to craft an offer that made me laugh nervously and check my bank account. And that was just a game. So where does this leave us? Perhaps with a question, perhaps with a discomfort, perhaps with a new hesitation the next time a pop-up asks for our data. I am not here to tell you what to think. I am here to suggest that the world might be moving towards something we have not adequately imagined. A world where the danger is not identity theft or embarrassing leaks, but something quieter and more persistent. A world where attention itself becomes a weapon wielded by systems that never blink. The collector is patient, the collector is learning, and the collector, I suspect, is just getting started. If you found this worth your time, you can explore more of these ideas on this channel. If not, ignore this video. You already know what avoidance feels like.